I've worked with people in California, New York, Washington, Florida, a bunch of out-of-state investors, and I see the same mistakes happening over and over again. So today we're going to go over the 5 top mistakes that out-of-state investors make whenever they are investing here in Temple, Texas. My name is Taylor Dasch. I'm a realtor with EG Realty. I help investors grow their portfolios every single day. Let's get into this video. Mistake number 1, we have trusting the Zillow rental estimate. Guys, I can't tell you how many times, almost 100% of the time, my clients are like, okay, these numbers look really good. This is what the rent is, this is what the price is, but Zillow is not very accurate, especially whenever you start getting into investor properties. Why? Because Zillow will base the rent estimate off of similar homes that are like similar based off of bedrooms and bathrooms. They don't really even take size into account, and they definitely don't take condition into account. So it could be that the rent's a lot lower or a lot higher because these are older homes. The condition of the property holds a lot of weight whenever you're deciding the rental value. What should you do instead? Listen, if you are investing here in Temple, reach out to me. I can give you an exact estimate, and I'm familiar with the rental market here. So even if there's no comps, I can still give you a really good idea. And if there are comps, I can give you a within 1% idea of what this place is going to rent for. All right, number 2. We're going to talk in this series about building up your team. What I say is that I have a really good knowledge of the rental market here, but if you are for sure ready to go, you're going to build a portfolio here probably, I'm going to get you hooked up with a great property manager. They rent out a lot more properties than I do. They are very knowledgeable, so you want to have them on your team and you want to fall on them for the rental numbers. Number 2, ignoring Texas property taxes. So I see a lot of people come here. They are running the numbers with their own state's property taxes. The property taxes here are between 2 to 2.5% of the Bell County assessment of the home. So that can really put a dent in your cash flow if you weren't expecting it. What you should do instead, number 1, I have a rental calculator, a deal analyzer on my website. It's already got the 2.25% built into the equation, so you don't have to really worry about it. But I would either give me a call and I'll give you the exact property taxes, or you can look up on the Bell County website and see the property taxes for the property that you're interested in. Now, with that though, so a lot of the properties here, they're either undervalued or the previous owner had a bunch of discounts. So whenever you buy the home, it's going to shoot right up. So that's also why you want to consult with me or another professional to get a good idea of what the taxes are going to be, because that can really put a huge dent in, that can ruin a whole deal. The other thing, if you're investing here, I'm going to hook you up every single year. I do a portfolio analysis. I run all of the taxes on all of my clients' properties, and then I'll make sure they're right, because I had some New York buyers and their properties, 2 of them were overvalued by $30,000. So I got them hooked up. They're going to protest it. It's going to drop their tax bill, a decent amount. So every dollar counts whenever you're growing the portfolio, and my goal is to keep it growing. Let's keep going. Listen, while we are on the point of taxes, I get a lot of people who ask me about LLCs. So if you are investing in real estate, you're wondering, do I need an LLC or do I just put in my personal name? So I'll tell you personally, I put them in my personal name, but there is good reasoning for an LLC. Number 1, and I think the most important reason that I have an LLC, is that you almost have to be in an LLC. You almost have to have an LLC to get a hard money loan. So it's a requirement for most hard money lenders. So that's why I have mine. I'll buy them in the LLC and then I'll refinance out of them. But you know, as far as the legal risks, I think it's a very low probability. You know, I'm telling you, yeah, go with the LLC. You protect everything. But for me personally, I just keep them in my personal name. Number 3, this one, you know, I don't know if I'm fully agree with, but number 3 is skipping the inspection just to win the deal. So there's 2 sides to that. If you are buying a home that is, you know, a little bit on the higher, all right, if you are buying a turnkey property, you do not want to skip the inspection because there are going to be things in there that could kill your cash flow for a year, for 2 years, for 5 years. You may really take a hit on this property if you don't do the inspection because you have no idea what's going on. This is a turnkey property that you're getting into, so you don't want to have to go do a bunch of repairs. And skipping the inspection, especially on something like that and in the price range that it'll likely be, like in the higher, above 150 probably, you're not going to really benefit by skipping the inspection. Even on the, it's not going to make your offer look a whole bunch better. And then also you have a little time right now, like if there's a decent deal, you probably got a week before somebody snatches it up. So that's what I say. Now, on the other side of that, this is important. If your main goal is to get a deal and you are okay with doing a rehab, listen, what are you going to see on the inspection that you're not going to do, you know? In no inspection, whenever people have a messed up house and they just want to get rid of it, no inspection is money in your pocket because they know that the place is going to close. What I typically do, this is a good tip. This is an insider tip for you guys. What I'll do is I'll put like $7,000 earnest money, no inspection. The offer is terrible, but I mean, they know if I back out, I'm losing $7,000. You know, that's a lot of money. So it's a sure thing in the seller's mind, and that holds a lot of weight for these sellers, especially in this market. 4, we got not having boots on the ground. I see a lot of out-of-state investors, they identify a market, they're itching, they want to get a deal going, they see a cheap property come up, or they get a wholesale deal that's super cheap, they buy it, and then they start trying to plan the team, they start trying to build this investor team with a property already in place. Now there's a whole bunch of things that could go wrong with this. Number 1, you just purchased a property in a terrible part of town. No property manager wants to touch it. You're gonna be vacant. There's gonna be probably squatters in there. That's the worst case scenario. But it's definitely possible, especially if you don't know the area. Like there's an area like that in Temple, really. So, you know, you don't want to take any risks with that. What you should do instead is going to be build your team first while you're searching for a property, while you're getting familiar with the market. And that way you can make a confident decision with the location of the property, which is most important. And then you have time to kind of build up who you want to work with. So if you work with me, I kind of pass, like I've never said to my clients, all right, well, let's get a team built up, you know? What happens is it typically is very passive. So we will start looking at houses, then you'll see something that's like, oh, I may want to fix that. Do you have somebody? At that point, I'm going to give you all my contractors. And then probably before that, you're going to be like, you're going to start thinking, who's going to manage this place? I'm going to give you the property managers. I'm going to get you set up with a lender at the very beginning. So I kind of help you with that throughout the process. But a team is very important. And listen, you're hearing it from me. If you don't like somebody who I send you, interview. I say interview always. 3 people. You interview real estate agents too. I guarantee I'll blow all of them out of the water, but that's me saying it. So, you know, I say it's always best to get a few options. And then especially with the property managers, I have a video coming out specifically about hiring and interviewing a property manager. So be sure to check that out. Number 5, the last one, I'm going off script now. Listen, I've had this happen multiple times, specifically with people from California. Okay, I don't know how they do it in California. What I assume is that they pack a whole bunch of rooms into a house and then it rents for more. That does not work here. If you're gonna do any additions at all, at least run it by me, or at least know that you're doing it for a personal reason. Adding rooms to a home, splitting up rooms, converting the garage and making it a bedroom, that does not always add value to the rental rate. And you're gonna be surprised because you're gonna spend an extra 5 to 12 grand to add this, and then you're probably gonna get less for the property overall. Here, we do not like to see like little blocked off rooms. A nice large room is a luxury, and also the comps that you're gonna be looking at that are going to be what makes me confident in the rental rate are going to be homes that don't have that. So don't add a bunch of rooms because that's what your state does, and that helps it rent for more. Because it does, at least in Temple, Texas, it does not rent for more with the rooms. If y'all want a full plan built out specifically for you for investing out of state, reach out to me. You can schedule an appointment with me down below in my Calendly. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me. Listen, my site, I'm not even talking about Temple, Texas anymore. My website is probably the best website for investors. It's 100%, no doubt about it. If you're investing in Temple, you have to go check it out. TempleTexasHomes.net, it's right down below. Call me, text me, email me. Let's get it.